Did you know that the Beretta manual says not to climb a tree, fence, or obstruction with a loaded firearm? There is probably a really good story there, but we're not going to tell that story today. Today we're actually going to be talking, that's such a cheesy intro. Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the new charging handle that we just came out with for the Beretta 1301. This one is a design that kind of happened a little bit by necessity. You know, Roger just really wasn't happy with the OEM design of the Beretta 1301. And actually, I'm gonna put this one down. This is our new one. We'll talk about this in a second. I'm gonna go grab a A300 that has the exact same style charging handle, and we'll talk about why we changed to this design, and then we'll do a close-up on this design. So, all right, so this is an A300. It's still a Beretta semi-auto shotgun. There's some small differences, but the thing that's identical to the 1301 is the charging handle, right? And so this charging handle, it's got a flared shape to it, right? And it also has some texturing and knurling going on. And, you know, at first glance, it seems like it would make sense, right? You know, this scoop in here is kind of going to direct your hand to be as close to the bore as possible. And it's knurled, so that way, you know, it gives you a little bit of texture. But the frustrating thing we had is that knurling is a little bit of unnecessary texturing for the way you would actually cycle this gun. And then that flaring here is actually causing you to pull outward, right? So when you look at this right here, let me see if I can get a close up on it for you guys. So when you look at this right here, it has this little bit of a flaring going on. And what you're doing when you pull on this is it's off by 5 degrees and you're actually creating force outward, right? Now the receiver, right? The receiver is going to hold you in a specific, you know, path when you set the, when you run the bolt. But the downside of that is that you're now actually wasting energy by pulling it essentially outward, right? Your body is naturally going to pull it outward to try and apply pressure evenly across that line. And so there's an unnecessary amount of force going on here. And also, you know, it's wasted energy. So if you run this charging handle, you actually probably feel a little bit of interference and friction going on in the upper receiver, right? So now that we've talked about, you know, the original, I'm gonna go grab the 1301, we'll talk about that. Right, so the 1301, this is our new charging handle. And right away, one of the things I noticed when I just ran it is that there's not nearly as much friction. But let's talk about the design of the charging handle itself. This is not, we didn't invent this, right? The concept of this shape here, the flared outward and then the perfectly straight cylinder, that's not a new design. In fact, that dates all the way back to the FAL and the Sten charging handles. And the reason we went to the design like this is for the exact same reasons it was employed in those very old designs, which is that it actually is going to force you to apply force in a perfectly rearward direction in line with the bore and the receiver, right? So again, we did a little bit of in-house testing on this, which we could give you guys if you reach out to our customer service. But what we found is that by doing it this way, there's actually less total force required to cycle the bolt, and it gives it a much more smoother run to it. The other thing I noticed about this is that because the original one was very long, the way I normally like to run a shotgun charging handle is I actually like to grab it like this, outward, you know, with my thumb. And it actually discourages me from doing that on the OEM version because of how much wider it protrudes. So we put this flare on here so that way you were able to actually place your finger where it needed to go, whether you ran it, you know, underneath or firing hand side, or if you're like me, you run it like this, right, with grabbing it with your thumb. No matter what, it's going to position your hand where it needs to be, and you're not going to induce that unnecessary offset force, you know, outwards from the receiver set, and then you just have wasted energy. So this isn't something that is, you know, it's not going to revolutionize the Beretta platform, but it is a massive quality of life improvement. We enjoy it very much. It makes running the gun a lot easier. It also reduces the snag hazard as well, right? So again, the other one, let me grab it, right? So just looking at these two shotguns side by side, your snag hazard is significantly reduced as well, right? So it doesn't stand out nearly as far, but it actually is more efficient at having you charge the handle, which we're always about, you know, things being more simple, more streamlined, less of a snag hazard, and just overall giving you guys better control over your weapons platform. We also have an M4 version coming out as well for the Benelli, so be on the lookout for that. We'll probably do a video on that for similar but different reasons on their charging handle style as well. But If you guys have any questions about this product, we'll make sure to have way more information over on the product page. And then, if you have questions, email or call in. You'll talk to Roger or one of the other members of the shop. It's actually here, right? Because I'm borrowing Roger's shotguns today. So I hope that answered all the questions you guys have on our new charging handles. Again, be on the lookout for the Benelli version. Thank you so much. Have a good day.